I used to spend more time watering my garden than I did anything else in it. Every morning, hose in hand, trying to figure out if I had given the tomatoes too much or too little. The water pooled on the surface and ran off before reaching the roots. I would go away for a long weekend and come back to wilted plants, miss a day in a heat wave and lose a week's worth of growth. The whole thing was reactive. I was always chasing a problem rather than solving it. What I eventually realized is that surface watering is fundamentally inefficient. Most of the water you apply evaporates before it reaches the root zone. The soil surface stays wet, which encourages fungal disease, attracts slugs, and germinates weeds. Meanwhile, the deeper soil where the roots actually live stays dry. You water every day and the plant is still thirsty because you are watering the wrong part of the system entirely. Here is what changed everything for me. I was reading about ancient water management near Jerusalem, and I came across something that made me stop. The Gihon Spring, where King Solomon was anointed as recorded in 1 Kings 133, was the primary water source for ancient Jerusalem. It fed channels that irrigated the gardens of the Kidron Valley, supporting agriculture in one of the most water-scarce regions on Earth. What fascinated me was not just the engineering, it was understanding the principle behind it. Ancient water systems worked with natural forces, not against them. They understood that water moves through soil on its own. That understanding led me to a modern application, the wicking bed. It takes the natural principle of how water moves through soil and applies it in a self-contained system perfectly suited to home gardens. The science is called capillary action, and you already understand it intuitively, even if you have never used the term. It is the same force that makes a paper towel absorb water, that draws oil up a candle wick, that pulls water through the tiny pore spaces in soil. You can actually test this yourself right now. Place the edge of a paper towel into a glass of water and watch the moisture climb upward against gravity on its own. That is exactly what happens inside a wicking bed. Water molecules are attracted to the particles of soil around them, and that attraction pulls the water upward against gravity up to 12 to 16 inches in most growing media. No pump, no pressure, no electricity. Just the physics of water and soil working together. A wicking bed uses this principle deliberately. You build a reservoir of water at the bottom of the bed, separated from the soil above by a thin barrier that allows the wicking process to begin. As the soil above draws moisture upward through capillary action, plant roots follow it downward, creating a dense root network around the moisture source. The plant takes exactly what it needs, exactly when it needs it. When the soil is saturated, the wicking slows. When the plant is actively transpiring and the soil dries slightly, the wicking accelerates. The system self-regulates in a way that no surface watering schedule ever could. No timer gets it this right, because no timer knows what the plant actually needs at any given moment. Studies comparing wicking beds to conventional surface irrigation have found water savings of 50 to 80% under real garden conditions. A 2018 field trial conducted by senior ecologist Peter Rutherford at the Kimbriki Eco Village and Garden Education Center in Sydney found an 80% reduction in water use from a standard-sized raised bed. The Botanic Gardens of Sydney have documented similar results in their community garden trials. Now let me show you exactly how to build one, because that is the part that actually changes your garden. Before you start, gather what you need. A watertight container at least 12 inches deep in total, coarse reservoir material such as gravel or scoria to fill the bottom 6 to 8 inches, a length of PVC pipe 1 to 2 inches in diameter for your water inlet, geotextile fabric or landscape fabric for the separator layer, and your growing mix 60% compost by volume and 40% coarse sand or perlite, not fine beach sand, and not standard potting mix, which compacts over time and loses its wicking ability entirely. Also have mulch on hand, straw or wood chips, both work well. Step 1, choose your container. Any watertight vessel works. A raised bed lined completely with pond liner, a large plastic tub, or repurposed food-grade containers. The total depth needs to be at least 12 inches, which accounts for 6 to 8 inches of reservoir at the bottom and at least 6 inches of growing medium on top. Depth matters here. Too shallow and the wicking zone never fully establishes, and plant roots run out of room before they find the moisture. Step 2, install the overflow outlet. Before adding anything to the container, measure 6 to 8 inches up from the bottom of the container wall and cut or drill a hole at exactly that height. This hole sits at the exact top of where your reservoir will be. It is critical. It prevents the reservoir from ever overfilling into the soil layer above and waterlogging the roots. This single detail is what separates a wicking bed from a bog. Get it right and the system protects itself automatically. Step 3, fill the reservoir layer Pour gravel, scoria, or purpose-made wicking cells into the bottom of the container until you reach the overflow hole. This reservoir is the engine of the entire system. It is what allows the bed to self-regulate. When the plant is drawing moisture heavily, the wicking accelerates to meet the demand. When growth slows and the plant needs less, the process slows with it. No timer, no guesswork. While you are filling, install your inlet pipe. Take a length of PVC pipe 1 to 2 inches in diameter. Drill or cut holes into the bottom 6 inches of it and push it straight down through the gravel until it touches the bottom. The top of the pipe should extend above where your soil surface will sit, so you can pour water in from above without disturbing the growing medium. Step 4. Add the separator layer. Cover the entire reservoir surface with geotextile fabric, landscape fabric, or several thick layers of newspaper, overlapping any seams by at least 6 inches. Cut a small hole for the inlet pipe to pass through. This layer has one job: it lets water wick upward into the soil while keeping soil particles from washing down and clogging the reservoir. Do not skip it and do not leave any gaps. A compromised separator layer is the most common reason wicking beds fail over time. Step 5. Add the growing medium. Fill the remaining depth with your growing mix. 60% good quality compost or aged manure, and 40% coarse sand or perlite by volume. For a standard 12-inch deep bed, you should have at least 6 inches of growing mix sitting above the separator. This is also where the disease and pest benefits become structural. Because moisture is delivered entirely from below, the soil surface above stays consistently dry. Fungal disease needs surface moisture to take hold. Remove that and you remove most of the conditions it needs. Slugs and snails need a moist surface to travel. A dry surface layer stops them at the perimeter. Weed seeds sitting in the dry top layer simply do not germinate. You are not building a watering system. You are building an environment that makes 4 problems disappear at once. Step 6. Mulch the surface. Finish with a generous 2 to 4 inch layer of mulch across the entire surface. This is not decoration, it is part of the system. The mulch keeps the surface dry, reduces evaporation from the soil below, and maintains the moisture gradient that drives capillary action upward. Without it, the wicking advantage is significantly reduced. Step 7. Start the system. Pour water into the inlet pipe until it flows steadily out of the overflow outlet. That tells you the reservoir is completely full. Plant directly through the mulch into the growing medium. Do not water the surface. For the first week, check the reservoir daily and keep it full. Your plants need a full reservoir while they send roots downward to find the moisture. Within a few days, the roots will have reached the wicking zone, and from that point, the bed is largely managing itself. Maintenance: check the inlet pipe every 2 to 3 days in hot weather, once a week in cooler conditions. When you can no longer see water in the pipe, fill the reservoir until the overflow runs. That is your entire maintenance routine. The honest answer is that there is nothing to sell in a well-built wicking bed. Once it is constructed, it replaces hoses, irrigation timers, drip systems, and watering schedules for the life of the container. The materials cost very little, and the ongoing inputs are essentially zero. There is no subscription, no consumable, no product that wears out and needs replacing every season. Modern irrigation markets are built on the opposite model. Drip lines degrade in UV light and need replacing every few years. Timers need batteries and programming. Pressure regulators fail. Emitters clog. The entire system assumes you will keep buying components indefinitely, and the industry selling those components has no incentive to tell you that a bucket of gravel and a pipe does the same job more reliably and for free. 2 things are worth knowing before you commit. First, salt buildup is a real issue in closed reservoir systems over time. Fertilizers and minerals in the water accumulate in the soil as water wicks upward and leaves dissolved solids behind. Flush the bed every few months by watering heavily from the top, letting excess drain through and carry the accumulated salts with it. Easy to do, important not to forget. Second, wicking beds work for vegetables and shallow-rooted plants, not for trees, shrubs, or deep-rooted perennials. Water wicks reliably through 12 to 16 inches of growing medium, which covers virtually every vegetable you would grow. For the vegetable garden, it is a near-perfect system. For thousands of years, people growing food in water-scarce regions understood how water moves naturally through soil. The wicking bed takes that same natural principle, capillary action, and puts it to work in a self-contained system. You can build in an afternoon and plant into this season. If you want to see another method that works the same way, we have a video on another ancient water-saving technique that uses buried wood. Click on it, and we will see you there.